bad lighting. That ain't bad lighting. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. What is this? This the urban guru giving you the business. Hey, put something in the chat for me, please, if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Hey, put something in the chat for me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Devora the Magician. What's up? What's going on, Devora the Magician? Paula, thank you. What's going on? Everybody that come in, thumbs up real fast. Let's have a little early afternoon conversation. Samara K, the goddess. Samara K, AAMC Travels. What's up? What's going on? Soul number 9. What's happening? X, thank you. Thank you. What's going on? Everybody, thumbs up. Let's go. Will do. I will let you know. I need to sign in any of those. What hoes? Where the hell that come from? Railing right. The heck? Hold on, man. We got some. Yeah, the grass. We don't have no coverage back there. That's not being. Oh, I see it. Man, property stuff. Purple Star Goddess, what up? A purple star. Wow. I don't know if I ever seen a purple star before. A purple star, that would be beautiful. Yeah, something happened. That wasn't always like that. Come on, man. Thumbs up real fast. Everybody, thumbs up button. We'll get started in a second. I'm just responding to a property manager real fast, and we'll get into today's conversation. Rudy, what's happening? What's going on? What up? What's happening? All right. All right. So the fall equinox is upon us, right? Which is tomorrow at 8:40 something p.m. like at 8:40 p.m. Eastern time. And so the equinox is, interesting. It's only 2 days a year where the earth is in this position in reference to the sun where daylight and nighttime is starting to be even. And then shortly thereafter, we're about to enter into darkness already. So the leaves haven't fallen yet. They're not even brown, orange yet because it's the first day of fall. But what's happening is technically the part of Earth for us where it's the fall is starting to lean back, right? It's time to lean back. And we're about to lean back away from the light, right? And so if there was, I don't know, if you imagine the light hitting the object, and only thing you have to do on the earth is you would lean back. And when you're leaning back, it looks like you're leaning away from the light, right? And so now more of the light look like it's actually about to start hitting the bottom, because watch my fist. As the top leans back, the top is actually going away from the light, but notice the bottom is leaning towards the light. And so now what starts to happen is, oh, this is actually the first day of spring for those below the equator. And so they're actually about to start getting more warmer. And on the first day of winter, when we tilted at our max, is the first day of summer for them because the bottom is tilted towards the sun, which is very interesting because technically, to a degree, that shows you in a sense to be in this, to be more, I would say, in cosmic rhythm. If we were south of the equator, it makes perfect sense because we're swinging closer to the sun. You see what I'm saying? During this particular time. Well, the Earth's tilt, I would say, look like it's going more towards the sun. Distance wise to the sun, it has nothing to do with that. Okay, so let me be clear on that. And so it's the fall for us, spring for those that are south of the equator. Okay. And so, first day of fall, Libra season, balance, getting ready to be the harvest season, right? The question will be, what's the harvest? What is your personal harvest? But that would mean you would have to be paying attention pretty much 6 months prior to plant that seed. But it's okay because you can plant that seed, imaginary and all, now, and see what you want to bring forth. So you can have an imaginative harvest, right? It's no different than certain techniques that we do as it pertains to visualizing finances coming to you. It would look like physically it's not there, but you're doing everything as if it was there. And so this is the whole purpose of visualization, right? Libra represents partnerships. This could be business relationships. This could be close friendships. This could be boyfriend, girlfriend, contractual agreements type of relationships. Okay. Notice that Mercury retrograde started already within this particular pocket and is still taking place between Libra and Virgo in this particular pocket during this particular equinox. I don't think I got you. What if I did? No, I didn't get you. Um, and so now there could be miscommunications in business and partnerships. Something could be brought to the light at this particular time. Remember, I told you old lovers will pop up at this particular time. It's a common theme with the retrograde, but especially when it's in Libra, because Libra deals with relationships. I would say also if it was in Scorpio, because that's sexual partners, and Leo, that's romantic partners. So I think the relationship the themes of people coming back together who you ain't heard from in a long time or whatever is more stronger within Leo, Libra, and Scorpio, because all of them denote some aspect of relationships. Okay. Um, so I saw something that was interesting doing tomorrow's alignment. The sun in the sky appears to be in opposition to Jupiter, in opposition to Neptune, which technically the Earth is pretty much getting itself to be in perfect alignment with Jupiter pretty soon, because you're about to have a direct, what's called sun opposite Jupiter. So if you out there at night, Like I'm out there. When it's dark out, the sun is down, it's dark. K Money, what up? Um, when you look in the east, it's a brilliant, bright star. Well, it's Jupiter. Um, the planet that deals with abundance and growth and luck, expansion, you know. Um, so that's your lucky go ho planet right there. Well, the Earth is pretty much in that same line of space. See, the beautiful thing about the optical illusion is it don't look like the Earth is moving because it look like all of these things are spinning around us, right? But truth be told, the Earth is somewhere too in space. Okay, so the Earth, if it's Libra season, then that means the Earth must be in Aries. Okay, because the Sun in the Earth relationship is we're always in the sign that's opposite where the Sun appears in front of. If the Sun appears to be in front of the Libra constellation, then that must mean what? We're in Aries. Okay, so it's kind of like going to a wall clock model of understanding that the sun on a wall clock model is actually in the center of the wall clock. It's not in front of a number, it's in the center. And given the fact that you are at 1 o'clock, so if you're at 1 o'clock on a wall clock, if you're at 1 o'clock and you see the sun in the middle, then straight ahead, what do it look like? What number is behind the sun? Because what's opposite one? Number 7, which is Libra. You see what I'm saying? And so then technically the earth is in Aries right now, aligning with Jupiter, because Jupiter is over here in this pocket of space as well. So we're about to have a Earth Jupiter conjunction, but the way that you hear modern astrologers say it will be Sun opposite Jupiter, but it's really a Earth Jupiter conjunction. Okay, interesting, because I would like to think, right, right, Sun is always opposite, and so because we're going around it. So it's always wherever it appears to be, it's because we're in the opposite spot and it appears to be in front of. Because think about it, the sun ain't moving into, you know, Leo, then Virgo, then Libra, and all that stuff. That ain't what's happening. The earth is actually moving around, casting the illusion that the sun is in front of these positions. And the beautiful thing about this, what up, T? The beautiful thing about this is this. It's very real because Leo to Virgo to Libra to Scorpio, these are different seasons. These are different personality types without a shadow of a doubt, right? So it's as if the sun is moving through there, but it's really not. It's giving the illusion that it's in front of there. And that illusion is, for lack of a better word, real. Okay. So we call this the cosmic illusion. Hold on, y'all. 1 second, because this is my people calling me. Hold on. Hello. Yeah. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm literally on a webinar right now. But go ahead, tell him to put him on. Put him on. Yeah, put him on. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Hmm. I can't make this up, y'all. I'm literally on a call about a kidney transplant, and Libra rules the kidney. So hold on, y'all. Right. That's why I asked him his blood type this morning. So yeah, yeah. That's why I asked him that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was looking at the blood type compatibility because I know you just can't mix, you just can't mix bloods. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Yeah, send that with him. I get it from him. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, likewise, man. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Well, see, this is man, you can't make this up, man. And so, yeah, that's literally kidney issues, dialysis, um, and now it comes to me. You see what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter, because now I got to segue into this because Libra rules the kidneys, right? And we sitting up here talking about the equinox. I didn't want to put the whole medical business. I was about to put it on speaker, but I ain't gonna divulge the medical situation of what it is. But when we're dealing with the kidneys, you're dealing with Libra, you're dealing with relationships, right? All right. So now the relationship comes from the stressful relationship comes with I told this story plenty of times, it's my parents, right? Um, dad and mom, but mainly dad, perception of what happened in a relationship many, many years ago in the early 80s. Okay. Um, and so what happens is when you have chronic stress, then the body, especially the kidneys, are super sensitive because the adrenal gland sits on top of the kidneys. Okay. Um, and um now it's an overflow of stress issues or stress chemicals rather. And now the kidneys, since the adrenals sits on top of the kidneys is the first one to really feel this particular effect. So then you start to go down. So anyway, now I got to have a whole conversation with this dude simply because I'm on a video. I'll come I'll get with you later. And so what starts to happen is you had this overflow of stress stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously the kidney's gonna shut down. Um, And the key thing about this thing is to me is this, right? You go 40 something years in your life where it wasn't an issue. Hey, come back later. All right. And so you go 40 years where there's no issue. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden there's an issue. So the question you have to ask yourself would be, what in the environment or what did you do to turn it on? So then you got this very old school model of science of I got it from my mama. That's what he'd say. He got it from his mama. It's hereditary. Ain't nothing I can do because the doctor said that it skips genders in generations. So the mom got it, so it's gonna go to her son. And then if you was a girl, then it would have went to my daughter. You know what I mean? And that's the linear way of seeing it. Old school science, okay, whatever. Well, now there's a new branch of science we know called epigenetics that states that, hey, what you believe is actually what you create. The environment is actually shaping and molding or sending the signal in your perception. That's really the key. The environment ain't creating, excuse my French, the environment ain't creating shit. Your perception to the environment is what's creating the reality. You see what I'm saying? And so now you want to eat, and I'm not exaggerating, you want to eat McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's 5 out of 7 days out the week. And the only reason that you don't eat the other two is because your dad cooks and you go over your dad's house and eat that. But even within that, it's still pork ribs on the grill. You know what I mean? Called me laughing last week. We want some pork ribs? No, I don't eat meat. I don't eat pork. I'm just messing with you. But you still eating pork ribs, right? And so I had to tell him today, you ever heard of the cheeseburger laws? Like Google cheeseburger laws. Like the fast food industry got together and tried to get a Republican out of Florida to make this law that was like, listen, we don't want what happened to the tobacco company where people was like, oh, I got cancer from smoking, I'm suing y'all. The cheeseburger laws basically state you should have enough common sense to know that if you eat fast food on a obsessive, or rather compulsive, obsessive, a whole bunch, you're gonna get sick. All right, something's gonna happen. And we don't want to be held responsible for that because you should just have common sense enough to know don't eat from here all the time. Not all the time, right? And that's exactly what you do. So now, if it ain't no issue, then why you need to go look this up? Y'all can Google this. It's called the cheeseburger laws. Why do you have to have, or why did you petition to have that kind of legislation put in play? You understand what I'm saying? And so now what happens is, as you just saw, I got a live call, right? That lack of knowledge and that way of living. Now the doctor want to say, well, hey, you want to give them a kidney? I'm not necessarily an objection to the kidney aspect, but I'm in total objection to the lifestyle. Because what good is the kidney if the lifestyle that you have is going? That's not the cause. You're trying to solve an effect now, but you're not getting at the causation of it. You understand what I'm saying? And so we be affecting other people and we don't know it. And this is another reason why I pull back my own energy in a sense. I'm not consulting people. I ain't really dialoguing too much like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't damn sure ain't in my space like that. Very selective, very, very, very selective and protective because you got to protect yourself. And then two, you may be affecting other people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an energy exchange. You see what I'm saying? And you got to be mindful of that. So I hope this is all relative because I think it is. It's the fall equinox, the eve of it. And if you're on the eve of it, that means today is 29 degrees Virgo, which is the ultimate epitome of the Virgo degree because it's the last day. And what is Virgo? Virgo is health, man. It's health and your hygiene. And it's also your habits, things that you do on a daily. So although the focus tomorrow is the equinox, you better understand that the equinox sits right next door to the ultimate degree of health. Health. And hence, that's why spirit is going to allow that phone to ring so you can understand something that's directly related to the internal aspect of this thing. Do you know that, again, I'll say it again, Libra rules marriages and then it rules the kidneys, right? And so I put it in the book, my mom cheated on my dad, and that was the issue. You know what I'm saying? That, his cause for divorce. And he still remembers that license plates number of that dude's car to this day. And I told you this is like 82. You know what I'm saying? 82 was a divorce. I think this shit was like 81. You know what I mean? And so he still remembers that license plates and the make and model of the car. Right. And so have you let it go? According to him, he got a letter that my mom wrote this guy she was interested in high school. Watch the irony of this. My dad happened to stay in that apartment that the guy grew up in high school. And now my dad lives in that apartment. You see how this shit work? And it's like this web. And you just got to look at, there's no such thing. Allow yourself to believe that coincidences mean something. If you allow yourself to believe that, you good to go, because it's now it's a confirmation of something. You see what I'm saying? And then it's just a pattern. And once you can identify the pattern, you really solve the issue, because now you can get out of the way and sidestep what's called karma, which karma is nothing more than action. And if it's action, it means motion. If it's motion, then it has rhythm, because all motion has a rhythm. You see what I'm saying? And you want to get out the rhythm by no longer participating in the action of it. So allow this equinox to deal with the internal checkup on yourself, because again, Libra, the equinox sits right next door to the highest degree of Virgo. So the higher the degrees, the logic is the more advanced that sign is. So if you 0 degrees, you a baby. You're on the cusp. You got this blend energy. You a baby. You ain't fully in it, right? 1, 2, 3 degrees, you a baby, right? But if you at 15 degrees, you in the middle. But you at 27, 28, 29, oh, you at the last degrees. You've evolved within this particular zodiacal frequency, right? And so remember, the equinox sits next door to health, to the highest degree of it. So you got to mind that health. And then it's about you building and coming into struggling with this balance of a relationship. And the reason why I say struggle with this is because of this. You live in a place that's imbalanced. How can you be balanced in a place that's imbalanced? You only get 2 times a year, unless you're on the equator, but you only get 2 times a year where you get an equinox as an Earth. 2? Is there balance, or is there just constantly running from one extreme to the other extreme? When you look at creation, I think I put it on the podcast. Cosmic Conversations is the podcast. You can iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. Cosmic Conversations, Noble Wampu. The Earth is not a perfect circle. It's like an egg shape. And then when you go around the sun, 1 minute you're 91 million miles away from the sun in January, and then in July about 93 million miles away. So the sun ain't sitting evenly 93 million miles away on both sides. You're closest to it, then you're further away from it. And then the further away from it you are where we at, the hotter it is. And the closer it is to us, it's cold. It's the winter. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? And so this place is bipolar. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that in a negative way of a medical issue, but I'm saying it in the way that it has two poles, a North Pole and a South Pole. It fluctuates a whole lot. It's not even. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very, very imbalanced, very imbalanced place. So everybody to a degree is off balance. And it looks that way too. When you look out into society and you look and you're like, damn, man, these phases that we go through, you know what I'm saying? We call it growing up and becoming mature. You know what I mean? But we go through some hell of a phases before we get to that mature thing, right? A whole lot of what appears to be imbalance. So can you even be balanced in a place like this? And that's just really a more of a philosophical question that I'm posing. Can you really be balanced in a state of chaos in a sense? And remember, that's the rule. That's the famous Latin slogan to make order out of chaos is order. You know what I'm saying? It's again, it's going back to this dichotomy of, this yin yang thing. You know what I mean? Um, but what can balance it? And when I say balance it, this is for 30 days, it's Libra energy, really 60 when you even get into Scorpio. Really the back half of the year, starting at Libra. Because remember, Libra is the reflection of Aries. So the first six signs are more interpersonal, right? So then opposite Libra or opposite Aries is Libra, but now it's the partnership, whereas Libra is the self. You see what I'm saying? Or Aries is the self rather. Scorpio is joint finances, whereas Taurus is my money. But when it's Scorpio, it's our money, right? When it's Sagittarius and Gemini, they're weird. They get an exception of the rule. But Gemini may be short travel, whereas Sagittarius is out of the country, long travel. Let's go see everybody. So Gemini is more of a local thing, whereas Sagittarius is a multicultural thing. You see what I'm saying? Um, Cancer is home and privacy, whereas its opposite Capricorn is success. Everybody see me, career. Come outside of the home, come outside of family, and deal with the people. You know what I mean? Um, Leo is more of love and fun and romance, even children. But its opposite Aquarius is who? The people, everybody. Everybody included. Everybody, friends, everybody. Social, everybody, right? And then you have Virgo, more of health, personal, hygiene. But it's opposite of Pisces. And the 12th is the institution, the hospital. Also, you got the health, but you got to come to where there's multiple people. So the back six signs are what's called a higher octave of the first six, because the higher octave includes more people. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the first six is just more about your basic building blocks for self, which is needed without a shadow of a doubt, right? And so now this whole back half of the year till we get to the Aries, you know what I mean? With the spring equinox, now it's about really the collective at this particular point. You see what I'm saying? And so this place is just layers within layers. I call it like I'm gonna do something on I'm actually about to start writing papers, right? But I got a little rosary here, right? So this rose, if you understand the rose, you probably can see one of them here, this pink one. Um, or I got one that's right here. Matter of fact, oh, so he's like, oh, it's so beautiful, right? And the rose is a very insecure flower. It's very insecure because it won't expose the center. Look at all the layers that you have to get through. We have to peel all of this off. It won't open up. It will not open up to allow you to see the center. Even if you catch it in nature open, it's drowned out. The center is drowned out by all of the petals. You got to cut the thorns off these things, right? Because that's a defense mechanism. I don't want you to touch me. I'm like, it's defense, right? That tells you something, right? It's not, it's not like the beauty, like this is about to open up the tulip. You get to see the secrets and the mysteries of light when you deal with this, right? It's not like the rose. You know what I mean? And so I'm saying that to say this, right? This equinox tomorrow night, I can just only share my experience and my opinion, right? Work on, because he remembers Libra, it's about coming into balance, but it's about the collective group. And again, it could be a relationships, period. Just relationships, period, right? What are some of the layers that you need to peel away that's going to allow you to obtain optimum health? Because I told you where we sit next to, right? 29 degrees Virgo. But relationships that are about allowing you to be healthy, that's the key. Healthy relationships is the key. And that can come in business, that can come in romance, that can come in friendships, that can come in, YouTube. It can come in various ways. You know what I'm saying? But allow yourself to really harvest, collect whatever it is you believe your ideal relationship is. Maybe with a person, maybe your dream girl, your dream guy, right? Maybe your dream business relationships. It may be all of the above. Tomorrow night, health in those dream relationships, because it comes in like at 8:40 in the evening, Eastern time. So, it'd be what? If you're in Central, 7 something, Mountain time, 6 something. If you're on the West Coast, 5 something. So the sun is still up for y'all. But you got to really take that moment and visualize. And if you got a special someone, tomorrow's the night that you really hug and you hold, because Libra represents, again, relationships, the balancing of the scales. You better, man, these next 30 days, you better be envisioning some perfect kidneys and perfect health. Like, I can't make this shit up, man. This how God messed with me. Like, this it's still kind of blowing my mind that I'm on a live with y'all and I'm getting a phone call to be a donor of a kidney. And we talking about Libra equinox, which is kidney season. But bump Libra season, it's kidney season. It's urinary system season, right? And so that's the visualization. You got it in the body, you got it in the external relationships, and now you got to marry that visualization. And if you're with somebody, again, since it represents the relationships, more of the intimate relationships, in the sense, the marriage partnership, this is a time where you can hold your significant other for however long as you want. Make the vision plain, put it on tablets, as the book says in the Bible, right? In Habakkuk, make the vision plain, meaning just be in agreement with babe, what you in agreement with? This is what I'm doing. All right, this is a time of year that represents this us coming together. This is really the relationship new year. All relationships, period. This is the new year. Very interesting, because this is this time of the year when the new moon come. It's Rosh Hashanah around this time. Normally it's in Virgo season, but if there's an extra lunar month within a calendar year, it can get pushed to Libra season, new moon. Okay. And so this is really the head of the year for the Jewish faith. Very interesting. Very interesting, because as we about to enter darkness, because we about to start dealing with less light for us in the United States and north of the equator, to start a new year, as you about to enter darkness, to start something and be creative with it, to go through this incubator stage, if you will, just for 6 months, it's time to get busy. So the darkness represents the internal, right? The internal work that's done for the collective. And then it's a swap When it's more of the light, now it's the external work that's done and gratified towards the internal man, right? All right. All right, man. So you asked something about the deacons. I saw something about that. I don't know where it is. Does it that go into the deacons? You can get into the deacons. You know what I mean? When I was talking about the neighbor, I wasn't necessarily talking about the deacons. Um, Deacons represent 10, like a decade. So every 10 degrees of a zodiac sign. So if we in Aries and we about to be in Libra season, they would say, well, Libra starts at 0 degrees. So 0 through 9 is 10 degrees, not 1 through 10, it's 0 through 9. The degrees in the zodiac is 0 through 29. There's 30 degrees in each zodiac sign, almost like 30 days. But it's 0 through 29. That makes 30, not 1 through 30. Okay. It's 0 through 29. Okay. And so the first 10, if it's Aries, we in Libra season, the first 10 degrees represents that zodiac sign, Libra. Well, Libra is an air sign. So Libra rules the first 10 degrees. Then the second set of 10 degrees, right, which would be what, 10 through 19, if I'm not mistaken. Then that will be the next air sign, right? So then that will be Aquarius, right? And then the last 10 degrees, right, will be 19 through 20 or 20 through 29. That will be what is that? That'll be Gemini. So it's the deacons, which are 3, they take the elements and divide it into 3 sections. So the home zodiac sign always gets the first 10. The next zodiac sign that represents the same element gets the second 10, and then the last one gets the last 10. Is how that theory goes, right? And so fire signs, you gotta know the fire signs, you gotta know the air signs, you gotta know the earth signs, you gotta know the water signs, and then you gotta know the order to be able to say bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean? This is this deacon right here, right? So an example is I'm a 27 degree Aquarius. So the first 10 is Aquarius, then the next air sign is Gemini, and then the last air sign is Libra, right? And so since I'm a 27 degree, I sit in the last 10 degrees of Aquarius. So although I'm an Aquarius, my deacon is the Libra deacon, which is relationship deacon. You see what I'm saying? And so that energy plays out that way. So that's when y'all see that question, that's what it's really talking about. Okay. But that's how you pretty much go into that. All right. All right. Can we go back to the belly season? Right. All right. More Soul Knowledge TV. What up? What up? What up? Funny, me and my partner are getting married in November. Yeah. So November could be good. It could be good. It's all about intention. Relationships are beautiful, especially if you're striving to be intentful behind everything. You got a pre-agreed upon conflict resolution plan. Please do not get married if you do not have a pre-agreed upon conflict resolution plan. I call it a CRP, right? You don't have an agreed upon conflict resolution plan, then we don't have an agreement how we're going to deal with issues. So issues will occur, it's just natural. Then what? And then what are some of the things that you can do to keep it fresh, to keep the honeymoon effect alive so it don't dwindle down? I think that in relationships that y'all should play a game, sort of like I always saw it like it's on a refrigerator and it's like a tank, like, you know, or it's you have a piece of paper and then there's her side and his side, and then you have full, 3/4, half, quarter, empty, and then that's your love, like what you're feeling, you know. And the goal is for us to learn how to pick up on each other energetically and be intentful and mindful. And so if I move the meter down, first of all, the agreement is you would never allow me to get to a half tank of gas. You allow me to get to a half tank of love gas, you're tripping. What, you want me to get on E? You know what I'm saying? That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous, right? And so the goal is, like, if I move it, then you got to be like, well, damn, it was full last night. It's on the refrigerator. I know because I go get my nighttime snack before I go to bed. I know I saw it was full. Why did they move it? Oh, because we didn't have intimacy and whatever, or whatever that person's love language is. I haven't been really doing that, right? And so now they move the meter on me. And so now you can have a foreknowledge, a feeling. It's making you study the energetic patterns versus somebody telling you what it is. You see what I'm saying? It's forcing you to learn behavior and mind. You see what I'm saying? And that's building a more intimate connection at that point when you do that. All right, in my opinion. Okay. So I think there's little things that we need to play, and literally play, that we need to have an effect so we can keep these things fresh to death, and do a midpoint composite. A midpoint composite chart, since we on relationships, Libra season, that's the chart that's in the middle of your guy's birthday. So all the planets meet in the middle. So if you are, let's just say hypothetically, you are Libra and this person's Aries, y'all opposite each other. So say y'all meet in the middle at Cancer, or y'all meet in the middle, let's say you meet in the middle at Cancer. So bam, you meet in the middle at Cancer, then what degree is that? It's called a midpoint composite. And so say you meet exactly at 0 degrees Cancer. Well, that's going to be around June 21st, June 22nd. So June 21st is actually the relationship's birthday. That is the hidden energy that exists in between the two parties. This is very important to understand this, man, because that day in the middle, I always look at it this way. When you first see the person who you were attracted to, there's an energy, right? And it's like, oh shit. Yeah. The eyes is going. There's an energetic exchange that takes place. There's a feeling, right? Okay, cool. Well, that energy that you're feeling, there's a day that exists that's in between the both of you evenly. Remember, this is about Libra. This is about the equinox. This is about being balanced, right? Okay, so then there's a day that sits in between us, even Steven. We need to know what that day is, because honestly, that's the day that you get married on. And I'm not talking directly to you that said you was get married. I'm just saying something to think about. That's the day you get married on, because that day sits even. So we can say, well, shit, it's 90 days to your birthday that way, and it's 90 days to your birthday that way. I'm the day that sits in the middle. I'm the day that says when you come together and meet in the middle of life, here it is, right here. We be way off over here. Like we be in the day that's not necessarily in harmonious to that natural point right there. That's deep, because these days hold energy, hence a space. Like first day of summer, first day of fall. These days, each day represents a degree within the sign, which represent a certain energy pocket, right? So why don't we know this? You know what I'm saying? So that's the day that you be like, all right, babe. Even if you get married on another day, fine, it's fine and dandy. But you better find out what that day is, and then you better make that the second marriage, or the secret anniversary day right there. It's that day right there that's in the middle. This day, this invisible day, is calling forth for these two parties to exist in between, to come together evenly. 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 You hear that? Evenly. Not that it's closer to your birthday, because now that pushes more closest to your cycle. Now that it's closer to mine because it pushes more close to my cycle and my energy. So if this is really even Steven, right? Then it's the day that's in the middle. This is called midpoint composite. Okay. You need to know this, man. And the synastry is just simply saying your energy, your day, and my day. Energy bouncing off each other. My birthday to your birthday. What the energy doing? So I'm the Aquarius. So I can go easy would be Leo. Leo, that's my opposite. Okay, cool. What do that mean? You know what I mean? Okay, now this is opposite each other. Okay, cool. Fire needs that air to breathe, whatever the case may be, right? So forth, so forth. Or one of my favorites, Aries. You know what I'm saying? Great compliment. You know what I mean? Great compliment. Since 2 signs over, it's an air and fire relationship again. I got Venus in Aries. You are Aries. Just probably gonna get along. And Aries, 9 times out of 10, but not 9 times out of 10, but it's a good chance that Aries is going to have Venus in Aquarius, because Venus is always no more than 2 signs. It's either with the sun. If this is Libra season, then Venus may be in Libra right now. Top Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, or go the other way, Virgo, Leo. It's always about within 2 signs away by the sun. Okay. And so then you may have Venus in Aquarius. Oh, you got Venus in Aquarius and I got Venus in Aries. That's love. You're going to feel that. Trust me when I tell you that. Nothing feels better, especially in heterosexual relationships, than Sun and Venus conjunctions. You can feel it. It's called instant attraction. It's beauty. It's so much harmony that's inside of that. Like it won't even turn into it should be hard to turn into. I ain't gonna say it won't. It should be hard to turn into friction, because Venus represents harmony and it's the feminine element, and the sun represents the warmth of the masculine element. So when these two are in the same space when people were born, it's called attraction. What we don't know is Libra to Cancer, Libra to Capricorn, that's a square. That's a problem, right? You're attracted to that too. You don't know that, because negative energy has magnetism and positive energy has magnetism. If it's all about electromagnetic energy, yes, then there's positive and negative inside of that. In astrology, we call these squares, oppositions, inconjuncts, right? These are problematic. But since we square each other, that means we're attracted to each other. But we think we're attracted to each other based off because we do business together and we got an interest in this business venture, or because we in a relationship and we think, of each other is physically attractive. And they very well may be the case, obviously, right? But what you don't know is you got Mars square Mars. You got Saturn conjunct Venus. You got some of this shit that's just nasty, right? Oh, it's going to come out. It's called an event that's going to take place. This person getting on your nerve now. You don't like how they handle money. You don't like how this person talk to you. It comes out. It's going to come out. It's definitely going to come out. So synastry is when we compare what my stuff is at to where your stuff is at, and what's the nature of that relationship right there. Composite says, bump me, bump you. Let's make everything meet in the middle and meet right there, and we operate off that midpoint right there, because that's the signature of the relationship that is trying to get us to produce. You see what I'm saying? Or as the midpoint, or what I call the hidden child of the relationship. That's the child. That's the hidden baby that exists between you two. All right. Yeah. Tell them Coco D. You can go to astro.com and put in the two parties, change the chart to midpoint composite, and then like see if they tell you 12 Aries, then you need to know what day is 12 Aries. So then here's another leg of homework. You got to go to an ephemeris, something like Chaldea, KHALDEA.com. Click on ephemeris. It's a 6,000 year ephemeris. Go all the way back. And then you go look for Aries season. We know Aries season starts around March 21st, 22nd. And then you go to March, and then you go look and see where the sun in the sun column says 12 Aries. Bam, that happens right there on whatever date that is. You know what I mean? And so you got to learn how to read what's called an ephemeris. Okay. And that's how you figure out that date. So astro.com, midpoint composite chart, it'll tell you the sun degree. You want to figure out what degree the sun is. And then once you figure out the degree and sign that is in, then you need to go to chaldea.com, which is an ephemeris, and figure out, okay, said 24 Virgo. When is Virgo season? Okay, I need to look at the sun column. You're going to see a glyph with the sun. What do it say 24 degrees at Virgo? Bam, 24 degrees right here. All right, bam. That day, bingo. That's what it is. Okay. All right. I knew this was coming. Boy, I swear I knew this was coming. because I've been having this conversation that I have been instructed to give you instructions to how you're going to heal this situation. But are you willing to give up Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King? And here's the kicker. I didn't already sent him. I think Jaquino, what up? Yaki Awaken. Beautiful brother. So from what I see, in my opinion. And I got a tendency to want to see the best in people. And I'm not saying I'm doing that with this particular case. But got the receipts though. When it come to herbs, got the receipts. I seen people who had diabetes in the doctor's office, and the wife got the camera secretly recording the doctor. And the doctor is like, I don't know what you're doing, but you no longer have diabetes no more. And he was like, oh, thank you, doctor. Like, don't thank me, thank her, thank your wife for hooking you up and changing your lifestyle. Went to an all fruit diet and then certain herbs that he took to bring the kidney back. You got to change your lifestyle, man. I seen the receipts. I showed him this. Let him see it. But it's, you know how it is. Food is a drug. I see why I go through the FDA, because food produces chemicals, which makes it a chemical reaction in the body, which makes it a drug. And now you become addicted. You know it ain't good for you, but you can't stop. You know it don't make sense to eat a dead carcass of anything. I think you're at the point where you just know, like, wait a minute, should I really eat that? I ain't saying that it don't taste good. I ain't saying that ain't, what do we call, some benefits from it. But should you eat it? Do you have to survive? And you know you don't have to survive. And you're supposed to be on the higher pole, like on the totem pole. Like, why? It just don't even make sense. I ain't gonna even get into that spill. But try to stop. You want to see the demon? You want to see a real demon? The demon, we got into this in a private webinar, right? The demon on one level, don't eat of the tree, right? And you will be on your belly as punishment, Mr. Serpent, right? Man, it's talking about your intestines. Food goes where? Because when you eat, it goes into the intestines. What do the intestines look like? Google the intestines. What do it look like? The intestines look like a serpent. Hence, it was talking to the serpent. Since the intestines is where? In your belly. So now your punishment is your belly. The food that you eat is your punishment, fool. Ain't got nothing to do with no snake in the garden talking to no girl. Ain't how that go. That's not what that is. It's talking about the food that you eat. You need to have a knowledge of these things. That's what it's about. So you want to see the demon? You want to see the moment that you said don't eat that? What happened? The temptation come in because you got that aspect of your consciousness. Do you mean I can't eat that? I can't eat that? I don't eat that. That pork chop good. What you talking about? And trust me, I know. Listen, pork bacon is the best bacon. I don't care what you tell me. What? The Oscar Mayer brand pork bacon is by far the coldest. It'll tear all the turkey bacons up. You can't touch pork bacon. No, any kind of bacon ain't better than pork bacon. I don't care what you tell me. I know it's good. Tastes good. But is it good for me? You know what I'm saying? I digress, man. All right. Yeah. Health gut. You know what I'm saying? Health gut, man. So yeah, man. If y'all can get somewhere sacred, I'll wrap up with this, man. If you can get somewhere special, I mean, you only got like a day, right? It'd be dope, man. I'll be spending some time at the grotto. I'm doing a lot of rosary. Working with JC, the Christ man. Simply because I got a crucifix, man, that got Aquarius, then Leo's here, and then like Taurus is here and Scorpio is here, which is known as the fixed cross. This was also in the book of maybe Ezekiel or Daniel, right? And the four really represents the four elements of gross matter, that we come into. And physicality is the cross. That's the cross. Especially when you understand the astral science, like that's the cross, right? But as the scripture says, we all have a cross to bear. Bear your cross. You know what I'm saying? And that is the things that we do in this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is and whatnot. All right. So, but also learning how to get into a frequency of practicing love and practicing. And I say practice because you have to actively engage in practice. You're gonna make mistakes. You know what I mean? We all gonna make mistakes. Listen, man, they even if Jesus Christ is real, or let's say even it's a folklore to get you to think about a higher principle, because then the book will come around and say, don't you know Jesus Christ is inside of you? Like, fool, you are Christ, right? And they say that too, right? So, damn, man, what JC do? Like, dude was coming around healing people and you still wanted to nail him to a cross? High hater, right? You it's always going to be some form of opposition, right? Not necessarily mean from the from another person, right? But it shows you that there's always going to be a form of opposition. I do tell you, it is very rare, but they do paint a picture. And I'm gonna give you some food for thought on the last one. They do paint the picture of the Elijahs who go up in the whirlwind, who you don't really have a traditional death, kind of like a Master Fard Muhammad, who started the Nation of Islam. By far the dopest. But the reason I'm gonna say the dopest is because you don't know how he died, if he died, where he died. You know nothing about his departure. He just disappeared on you and got ghosts, never to be seen again. That's some G shit. Okay, so that Elijah whirlwind type of vibe, very rare, very, very, very rare. Special force of attainment. And the last food for thought that I'm gonna give you guys is this. In studying saints, Saint Charbel, the GOAT when it comes to healing. Can't nobody touch Saint Charbel. I'm telling you now. Look into this that I tell you. I'm gonna do a night with the saints next month with Saint Charbel. Saint Charbel, Saint Benedict de Moore, Saint Martin de Porres, Saint Vincent, like these. Listen, Saint Francis, Saint Clare, like we're talking about people who are dead and their bodies are still in the same condition. Charbel was bleeding and sweating 50 plus years after his death, and his body was elastic like he was alive. I'm talking about people got cancer and heart issues and can't see, go to his tomb and pray and put oils on them from the tomb, and now they can see. Women who are pregnant and the baby's got issues at 7 months, and the doctor tell them abort at month 7, abort at month 8. This ain't gonna be good. Abort. Praying to Charbel and the baby come out perfectly fine, and they like it's a miracle. I'm telling you, this is on the record, right? All of these saints reached this particular high frequency of miracles without being in a relationship. I'm telling you, in the West, see, what I'm trying to figure out, what I'm dedicated to is, because we're talking about Libra, the equinox, relationships. Of the old era of this greatness of sainthood, they actually started to denounce relationships and sexuality. Like, no. I'm mystically married to Jesus. I'm mystically married to Mary. And here's the key. I'm going to get into this. Oh, listen, there's so much work in here. We can be here for the rest of our days. There's so much. Saint Charbel alone has over 30,000 recorded, documented medical miracles. Medical meaning they went to the hospital, got documentation, and they had to bring this documentation to Lebanon, where the monastery is. And the head priest of the monastery had to look at it and then say, okay, confirm, miracle. That's just what made it to Lebanon. You know how many people got miracles that didn't even go to Lebanon? Over 30,000 documented. Documented. Look into this, y'all. I'm not lying. Now, here's the thing in the West. Can you reach this type of sainthood while being in a relationship? Because all of the prophets of old and Paul tell you it's best not to marry. That's what he said. I ain't making it up. Paul said in the Bible, it is best not to marry. That's a heavy statement. Now, how you gonna put that off being a nigga? Hey, bro, I need you to give up the cootie cat. If you want to get into you got to give up the cootie. What? I gotta stop eating meat and I gotta give up the cootie cat? Well, you nigga, nah, nigga. I'll see you next lifetime, like Erica Badu, nigga. So relationships are very, very challenging. And we gotta figure out, and to me, in my opinion, when I say we, I'm just saying the Western Hemisphere. This ain't the East. The East is running a different offense. They run isolation, hence the hermitage. And nothing wrong with that. That's great. Do that. I do that all the time. This is my hermitage, right? This is my hermitage, literally, right? But you win the style of love over here. This is where it's supposed to be joyful. This is where you want to experience. This is supposed to be about the higher octave. Study Saint Francis, and Saint Clare. Clare created and was inspired by Francis and the friars. She created the Poor Clares, which was the sisterhood to a brotherhood that was already in play. They were said to be sitting in the forest talking upon hours, Francis and Clare, about divinity and God, that the onlookers from afar will see a red amber and will hurry up with water because they thought the forest was on fire. But it was really the divine flame of love and their love for God. If Francis and Clare can do that, and trust me, they were soulmates. They just never physically, unless they did it in the woods and didn't nobody know, right? Something I would do. But anyway, those two right there, that's what the West has to learn how to marry. That's you and I. That's the work that we have to do. Right there. That's the equinox. That's what the equinox is all about, especially this equinox because it's Libra. The other equinox is Aries, the head. This one here is the unification of the male and the female. Okay? All right, man. So I'll leave y'all in peace. Y'all see I got my work cut out in front of me today. All right. So I'm going to get with y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the podcast, Cosmic Conversations, on all your major platforms. Check it out. I will be releasing probably this conversation and another conversation within today and tomorrow. Okay. All right. Peace.